All right, guys, coming at you today, August 2nd, 2026, coming at you for our live stream to talk about Dead City, a couple other shows that we were watching, any other shows or movies that you've seen. I did not see Spider-Man Brand New Day that came out on Friday, but hopefully it's good, hopefully it's awesome, and setting up the tone for Avengers Doomsday at the end of this year, December 18th. So I am One Eye Bry, also known as PC. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about Dead City. And yeah, we're just going to talk about the episode, Season 3, Episode 2. We'll talk about, some general stuff with the first 15 minutes. In the last 45 minutes, we'll talk about the episode, review, recap, discussion, spoilers, etc., setting up the rest of the episodes for Season 3. So what's up, Tim, and everybody else joining as we speak? So we made it to August. It is August 2nd, 2026, as we do this live stream for the next hour. And yeah, August, if you're getting ready to go back to school, that probably sucks. You're enjoying summer vacation, or maybe you're ready to go back. I don't know. But ultimately, the big thing is that you got a couple more days or weeks or whatever you can go back to school or work or whatever. So enjoy it, live it up. It's a rainy, not crappy day, but a rainy day today in Florida, where I live. And hopefully you're doing well. I'm excited for August. I'm more excited for later this year, but let's get this going. Every month down, every day down is a closer thing to, later this year, football season. What's up, Tim? What's up, Synth Loved DNA, Big Tree, and everyone else that's joining as we speak. So, Dead City is back. Season 3, Episode 2 aired on AMC+. I saw it, watched it, and I'll give you my take on it. It's just kind of a filler, nonsense episode that should have been over in 10 minutes. It just setting up the tone for the future of this season and beyond. We still don't know how many more seasons we're going to get. Still no word on DARYL DIXON Season 4 when that's going to come out in 2027. I have not seen the show, but I want to bring a show to the attention of viewers now. Anyone in the chat watching this on replay. There's a show evidently on MGM+. It's called The Westies. And it's about the, I believe, Irish Mafia. And J.K. Simmons is one of the main people in that show. Joe Jaden Jameson from Spider-Man. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. But I definitely want to check it out. And I saw it. It's an MGM Plus show. But it's called The Westies. And it looks pretty good. I mean, I've heard good things about it. People are enjoying it. If you know The Sopranos, you know that Vincent Pastore passed away. You know his name on the show. And he just passed away yesterday. So it's been a lot of loss for a lot of people this year. And it happens all the time. But he was 80 years old. And, I'm a huge Sopranos fan. I just think it's easy to replicate that story to do what they do in theory. It's probably hard for production, but I just think at some point they should hopefully continue with The Sopranos. I think that you can continue the story with new people, who's running New York, who's running New Jersey, who's running wherever. And you can even connect the dots with some of the remaining cast members or being someone's son or grandson or I don't know, whatever. But I would hope for that to eventually come back at some point, some way, some shape or form, but not like the Many Saints of Newark. But, how that goes. We're watching Pop Culture Jeopardy on Netflix. The first season was on Amazon. This second season is on Netflix. It's interesting. We finished Home Improvement, all 8 seasons. I'm excited for Reacher to come out later this month. House of the Dragon is going strong, but there's just not enough dragons in House of the Dragon. And hopefully we're going to get more epic things to happen. And it's just turning into a political show again, which Game of Thrones is very political. And King's Landing seems like a terrible place to be who would want to rule that place? Who would want to live there? It just seems like a terrible area. There's got to be better places in the Seven Kingdoms. And getting to see the problems that Rhaenyra and Daemon and the rest of the Targaryens are having to deal with. And like I said, I didn't read the books, so I don't know what's happening except for a couple things that were spoiled by people talking about it. And we'll have to see if it happens, because we all know that the show is the show, the comic is the comic, the book is the book, and so forth and so on. And we watched the movie 72 Hours last night on Netflix. It's starring Kevin Hart and some people from Saturday Night Live. And it's okay. It's a silly, over-the-top movie. And it's kind of funny. It's okay. It's, I don't know, an hour and 30 or hour and 40 minutes. It's something to watch. It's nothing great, but we finished The Hawk. Trying to think what other shows have we watched. Are you guys recommending anything so far? You know, there's a lot of good stuff. So Reacher comes out August, I don't know if it's 12th or 14th, or I'm not sure exactly when it comes out, but I know it's middle of August. And then in September, the spinoff of Reacher, that's titled Neely, or Neegly. I don't know how you say her name, if it's Neely or Neegly, but she is a spinoff of Reacher. And there's trailers out for both of those shows now, and they look good. Got to continue on with that. And then, of course, football, training camps, excuse me, preseason, and then regular season starts September 9th. Excited for football. Of course, college football, professional football, something to watch. And the big news, too, also is that Netflix and AMC came to a deal that's going to keep The Walking Dead on AMC or on Netflix for the next 5 years, I believe. And I think it was for like $500 million that Netflix is going to pay AMC for that. And I believe they're going to have all the shows. So hopefully, I mean, that's a lot of money, which is good. And to own the property of AMC is going to make a lot of money to own the Walking Dead property. And if you're going to have all the shows, The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking, I don't even know where to watch Fear the Walking Dead, and to be honest, I'll never watch that show again, because to me it's a big old waste of time. The Ones Who Live, World Beyond, Fear the Walking Dead, and Tales of the Walking Dead hopefully will all be on Netflix. And for the next 5 years, you'll be able to watch it, because I know some people love to still watch The Walking Dead. The main show, I feel, is still holds up to watch it, but the rest of the spin-offs, not so much. So, I'll talk about Season 3, Episode 2 of Dead City in 7 minutes. We'll start talking about it. But I said it time and time again, is the spin-offs are good, or can be good, if you connect the dots with other parts of The Walking Dead. Like, the main stuff is the main show. The main tree is The Walking Dead, and the branches that come off are the spin-offs. But they have to connect. It's not like it's another tree. They're not a standalone anything. They have to rely on the name to watch it. And I mean, it is what it is, and some stuff's better than others, and the writing, and the production, and the money, and whatever. But like I said, it is what it is, and we get what we get, and we don't get upset, and we move on from it. And we keep watching the shows, or we give up on them too, So, right now, people love the shows, and there's a lot of good shows out there. It's a lot of good stuff to be coming around. And TV, I think, is just, to me, worth watching more than movies, because you can develop the story, whether it's 6 episodes, 8, 10, however long many episodes. And if you're getting an hour, 42 minutes, 22 minutes, whatever, you can really have good character development, good story, good plot development, and you can go down the right way, because it makes sense to have character development. I don't want to waste my time in something that's going to feel rushed or dragged out for way too long. When you got to have that fine line, and that's why I've said before that I think seasons 5 and 6 of a show, or 5 or 6 seasons, is enough. maybe 4 at the least, but you have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so it's 1, 3, and 6, or 1, 3, and 5, or however you would break it up. And it makes sense to have that sort of story arc. You have enough time to get to know the characters. You have enough development of it that has problems, conflicts, resolution, future problems, whatever. Set things up, set the tone, connect the dots, and move forward. And that's why a trilogy of movies usually works best. A beginning, a middle, and end. It's not like there's a beginning and a middle and no end, but there should be a beginning and an end. You know, everything that starts needs to go on there too, as we all know. And even if we watch a crappy show, a lot of times we have to see how it ends just to see how they wrap it up. So, but other than that, guys, we're doing well. It's August, and I'm excited for the rest of the year. July and August are the longest months, obviously. They're 31 days, back-to-back 31 days. And sometimes it can be really slow, and it's really hot, and it's really this, and the energy costs and everything on there. So you got to just make it, last. Make your paycheck and your money last. And it's tough out there, too. And, I don't know how people do it with having cable and streaming services and internet. My internet has gone up again $10 more this month, starting, in August. And it's just crazy. Pretty soon, internet's going to be $150. Netflix is going to be over $30. It's just too much. How do we get a chance to, pay that? Michael asked, "Do you watch Silo? The new season is great so far." I've only seen the first episode of Silo. I have not had a chance to watch any more of that. It's like, because we're trying to watch other shows before they went away in July. And Silo is just one of those that comes on the back burner of other shows. Like I watch House of the Dragon on Monday. I don't actually watch it on Sunday. I watch it on Monday. And then, because my wife and I work during the week, so it's tough to get during the week to just watch everything, and we watch our shows together. So we have a limited amount of time, probably from like 7 to 9:30 we watch shows. So, and I don't mind letting Silo go a little bit and then let it go before I can catch up. And I do like, if I can, to just let the shows kind of go, have a bunch of episodes, and then watch it every day for 10 days or 6 days or 8 days, however many episodes are there. And so, yeah, Silo, we saw the first episode where she came back to the silo and they're giving her vitamins, and you get to see the story of the people that Washington and the government and everything before the silo. So it was developing for that, and hopefully they've really expanded upon that. And it's kind of a good story. That'll probably be another great show when it gets all complete, however many episodes there are, and it's all put up on other streaming services. Because on Apple Plus, Apple TV, Apple Plus, it's tough because not everybody has that. I would say that's one of the least ones that people have, to be honest. Netflix is the king, in my opinion, and Amazon. Those two are probably the biggest streaming services for shows. And then probably Hulu, connected with Disney Plus, and all that on there as well. So it's kind of funny when a show or a movie is like, oh, this show is on Netflix now, and they're like, so-and-so's movie, Matt Damon's 2006 movie is racing up the charts and streaming, and you're like, yeah, that's an old movie, but it's new to people, because some people, I'm guessing, just have Netflix. Like, if you have internet and a streaming service or two, you're kind of locked in to watch that. Like, you got to have internet, obviously. But if you have a streaming service, you're just watching what you have there, whether it's Amazon and or Netflix. You're not watching live television. You might not have seen stuff that came out then, too. And if you're 22 years old, you probably didn't know movies that came out a while ago for it. But, yeah, Silo is a good show, and hopefully it is good. And Michael says it's great so far. I don't even know how many episodes are out, 3 or 4 or 5 now. So I'll definitely be checking that out probably later down the road. Haven't seen The Odyssey yet. Haven't seen really any other movies in theaters or anything like that. But have you guys recommend any shows or movies or anything? Let me know in the chat for that. So, all right, guys, we got 30 seconds left before we start talking about Season 3, Episode 2 of Dead City too. So 5 episodes so far. Yeah. So I don't know if it's 8 or 10 episodes. So we're about halfway through then, or a little more than halfway of Silo so far. Tim says, trouble with Prime and paying for it is always even old stuff, rent or buy. Well, yeah, so some of that stuff, but there are movies on there. You know, some movies or shows are on there too. And then Amazon has like some shows or television that's on there as well. But yeah, it's a tough thing when, you know, you always want to watch like whatever movie and it's an older movie and you're like, I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to rent it. I'm never going to rent a movie where I have to pay to rent it, you know, or buy something like that. Very rarely would I ever do that too. So, all right, guys, let's get into season 3, episode 2 of Dead City. So, spoiler warning, spoilers if you have not seen season 3, episode 2, and you do not want to know. So, ultimately, season 3, episode 2 of Dead City, like I said before earlier, is filler. So, the big thing about it is you see a couple weeks went by from the end of season 1. Or episode 1 of season 3. Let me see. Munchie Cheese says, my theory for the end of episode 2 is that Herschel is the one that killed Adama, his convo with Maggie about killing a person and cutting him. Right. So, I mean, we'll talk about that later. Does it really matter who killed Adama? Is it Negan? Is it Herschel? Is it herself? Who cares, to be honest with you? The bigger thing is that they're moving away from everything that happened in the first 2 seasons. That's the bigger thing I had with it. So in season 3, episode 1, the Croat killed. So he's done. Season 3, episode 2, the Dama. She's dead. Plus, season 2, season 1, all those new characters are dead. And in season 3, now you have Negan and Maggie. Herschel's like a good kid now, which is good. And you have these new people coming around. We get to see Pearlie Armstrong, who lost a lot of weight, by the way. He looks very skinny. And he's leaving to go back to his family in New Babylon. And so we'll have to see what happens with that. But so the way it's going is that they're trying to stay there in New York City, Maggie and Negan. And the whole time, Maggie is like installing lights and does this and does that. And you're like, why does it take Maggie to come in here and be like the smartest person ever? It's like, oh, let's put this system in with lights and security measures and, you know, protect our own and do this and do that and connect here and whatever. But either way, Maggie does and sets things up. And Negan is rocking out in the bar and he's playing his video games, playing Gears of War. And Dillard is being Dillard, and, you know, it's kind of funny that he's, like, thinking he can talk to walkers and understand them. And then they do the classic, like, oh, he does this, and Negan doesn't like it. And then the scaffolding goes down, and all these walkers come out, and they kill the walkers, and Negan and Dillard are safe. But Maggie sets things up, and they're like, what are we going to do? We should protect this place and hide this place and whatever. And, I mean, it's New York City. You can't just, like, stop people from coming to New York City. But you can see, you should be able to, like, have them go through the process to bring them there, too. And at the end of the episode, they put the light on. It's a waste of power, by the way. But either way, you are putting a light on the Statue of Liberty to have a beacon there that shows that New York's open, come on down. And a bunch of people, these 2 guys look at it and they're like, what does that mean? Like, let's find out. And all these people are walking towards the shoreline and probably getting a boat and going to New York. And hopefully some of them are nice and some of them are good, and probably not all of them are good, and some of them are bad and some of them are good. It's like the prison all over again. It's like the Tyrese's group coming to the prison. Some of them are going to be good. Some of them are not. Some are going to cause problems. It's going to be a whole mess. And, you know, the whole thing is that how can you have this place? Yeah, exactly. Michael says, that reminded me of Madison turning on the hotel lights in Fear. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's kind of a waste of power, electricity. Like, who cares about the lights when you should be able having the power of air conditioning or refrigeration and stuff like that, but because that would be using up a lot of the power. But either way, this is what The Walking Dead does. And at the end of the day, Maggie, Negan, and Hurley Armstrong, they follow the two New Babylon Marshal soldiers, troops, whatever. They go to the theater. They come across all these people that are still alive. Armstrong, Negan, and Maggie kill everyone but one guy that's named like Linus or something is his name, I believe. Which is crazy names in the Walking Dead universe yet again. No one's like Dave or Kyle or whatever, you know. And the Dama comes out and she's captured. And instead of killing her, they take her hostage. And then the whole rest of the episode, till the very end, is should we kill her? Should we not? It's going to be resources. It's going to be food. It's going to be security. It's going to be this. Can she be rehabilitated? She's going to be there. I mean, she cut off your son's toe. She cannot be trusted. She's a Looney Tune whack-a-mole. She's out there. And she's going to be using your resources. She's going to be dangerous. You can't trust her. What is she going to be able to do for you? She's going to say anything to try to stay alive. And it's just nonsense. And then Maggie goes to Negan. Like, oh, I need your help. I need this, blah, blah, blah. And then Negan says, you know, it's all about protecting your people. But you're going to have to kill more people to protect your people. So Negan makes all the sense in the world, all the right points on her too, and Maggie's like, I don't know what to do, and I should do this, and whatever, and Renata wants to do this, and blah, 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 blah. But how could you ultimately keep her alive? Which is like, again, waste of time in the episode. Negan has an injury, he gets cut, and Herschel has to like stitch up his leg. But so with Michael says, we don't see who actually kills the Dama, right? And again, it doesn't matter either way who killed her. But there's three people that could have killed her. Negan, Herschel, and the Dama herself. So Herschel does say, I'm not sure I'll be ready to kill a person when it comes for that, when the time comes to that. But we do see Negan go to the Dama's cell, gets the keys, unlocks the door. But before that, Maggie puts a tray of food and a big knife, a pretty big knife, on the tray and makes the decision. So Maggie's trying to get out of killing the Dama. So she's going to let her do it herself because to speed up the thing, because she's going to die a slow death by not eating, and she decides not to eat. But she is eating a little bit. She's eating tuna casserole or something. And so she complains about it, and she's annoying, and it just was like, all I'm thinking about is just get rid of her. Just be done with her. You don't have time for this. You have other things to worry about. Just like Dillard is sitting at the bar, and he lets the walkers, they don't have teeth in the bar, I'm guessing, and I believe that's what the word was. But he lets the walkers get way too close. So Dillard is like singing karaoke, and the walkers are on a pole, you know, tied to it. And like that's a lot of faith in the strap and the tape and the whatever it is, the belt or whatever, and the pole and everything. And you're like, you know, it's just kind of ridiculous. But, you know, it's The Walking Dead. And Negan's hanging out at the bar with Dillard, which is fine. That's Negan's best friend. And Negan always has a buddy. So I'm guessing Dillard at some point will die because everyone that's close to Negan dies. Everyone that's close to Maggie dies. Everyone that's close to these people die. The plot armor is thick on Negan and Maggie and Daryl and Carol and Michonne and Rick and the main people, but people die around them too. So we'll have to see when they die. It's a matter of when. So the end. Let's get back to the ending. So Negan goes to the jail cell. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not a lot for the Dama. Well, I don't know. The methane gas just comes from the walkers, but so the Dama and Negan are fighting each other because Negan opens up her jail cell. There's no guards around, and Dama's like, "Help! Help! Help! Help!" She cries for help, but there's no guards, and Negan blocks the Dama's strike with the knife, throws her down because the Dama weighs probably 72 pounds, like she's super skinny, and Negan picks up the knife. And he says the classic line, like, it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. And then we don't see what happens after that, but Maggie comes in at the end of the episode to the jail cell of the Dama, and the Dama has the knife stabbed in her chest, and she's a walker. So either way, she's dead. So I doubt the Dama killed herself because she was fighting back. But again, it doesn't matter because Maggie thinks that the Dama killed herself. She doesn't think and know who killed the Dama, if it was Negan or Herschel or the Dama herself. And either way, the whole thing was like, Maggie, what should we do? Should we hide this place? Should we bring people in? And they decide to open up New York City to everybody to come here because Negan says the point is, when he first started the Saviors, he wanted to keep it small. But yeah, it's a numbers game. More people, the better, the more powerful you are. Your infantry, your troops, just more manpower, people power, I guess you should say that. But so the Saviors got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But then when you have bigger and bigger groups, you have more headaches, more people rocking the boat. Like Simon or Fat Joey or whoever, And it's just something that comes along with more people, more employees. If you have 5 employees versus 50, it's a lot of personalities. So Renata and Maggie talk about what to do and blah, blah, blah. And they put one of the tanks by the lights of the lights to light up New York City or the Statue of Liberty. And that's how the episode ends, with those people going towards New York City. And then we see later on this season, or next episode, we see all these people come in and do this. And you're going to have to go through, screen these people to see. Because you're like, well, we can't have people like the Dama or the Croat or people like that. And then Renata says, well, what about the people that taught the Croat? Your little buddy in there is like that. So I think they're setting up the tone because the Dama, gone. She's not a point of interest anymore. Croat, no point of interest. So who's the next villain? New Babylon Marshals. Makes sense. They lost a big chunk of their infantry, their troops, because when the Croat blew up the tanks, the major explosion, Midtown was gone. They take the weapons from the New Babylon Marshals. They have an armory. They have a bunch of stuff in there. But the entire time, did anybody agree with me? Let me know. But the entire time, I'm thinking, Maggie, you have a connection with not 1, not 2, but 3 major communities in the Walking Dead universe. Why don't you bring people from there and your technology from the tanks and the walkers to the Commonwealth, Hilltop, and Alexandria? That's 3 major communities. Right? That makes sense. Put out a message. Do something. Send out a raven like Game of Thrones. Now, get on the radio. Go out to those communities. The Bricks also. That's another one. A 4th community. Because it's all about people you trust. It's not about people. It's about the right people, good people, trustworthy people. And I'm like, what are you doing? We spent all this time at Alexandria, then Hilltop, and then we ended with the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth has a guy named Mercer, which is pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome to see him again. Plus his troops, plus the gear, plus the Civic Republic, plus. But you're like, nah, we're just going to open it to everybody else. Well, you have to have people to protect what you have, because somebody's going to come and take it. in this zombie apocalypse world, this dystopian story, the storytelling of this type of atmosphere, it's going to be about people want what you have. Not everybody. Some people are nice. Some people are good. Some people do terrible things. Some people have to survive. It's part of survival, right? Survival of the fittest. But you have to screen the people that are there, right? That are coming in. Is it going to be a democracy? Is it going to be a dictatorship? Is it going to be a prime minister, presidential? Is it going to be like some sort of person running it? Is it going to be a council? Is it going to be there too? You know, like, but we'll have to see. I mean, they're going to end up plowing Central Park and planting crops, and hopefully there's some people that are going to be helpful, but some not. So they also paint this picture in my mind that I see Maggie's way and Negan's way. And Maggie's going to be merciful and nice and kind and good and just. And Negan's going to get stuff done. Negan's going to be the tough decisions. He's going to wean out the people that were annoying or risky or dangerous or something that can cause problems. And there's going to be another rift between them again. I'm guessing that Negan's way is going to come back around. And what if Negan starts to have people join him again, a la the Saviors, just like that? Because people will gravitate towards someone like Negan. He makes the tough decisions. He's not afraid to have to kill people. Obviously, as we know, Glenn, Abraham, so forth and so on, with all those people like that. And he gets the stuff done that he has to survive with it. Maggie's a little more merciful. She's a little things. She had to make tough decisions, you know, with Gregory and all the things back in the Walking Dead universe, but they're making her act like, okay, we're going to bring everybody in. Everything's going to go well. But when you bring people in, you're going to have good people and bad people. So how are you going to wean those people out? You're going to have someone like Negan to do that. So if Armstrong's gone, you have Negan, you have Dillard, you have Herschel, you have Renata. I don't know Renata's brother, but Renata's brother is an emergency room doctor, so he's pretty essential for medical care. You have Linus. You have to see New Babylon people. You're going to have other people in this city because the New York City is a huge city and there could be other people around and whatever, but you're going to have to figure it out. But again, once you open up the floodgates, people can and usually are a problem. So people are going to come here and, you know, it's like in a perfect world, you would have, oh, I'm an engineer. I'm a farmer. I'm a roofer. I'm a construction guy. I'm a cook. I'm an electrical engineer. I'm whatever. Something like you have skills, but not everyone's going to be useful. Some people are going to be complaining. Some people are going to be like, why do I have to stay in the dump here? Why can't I stay in the penthouse? But New York City's pretty huge, right? There's got to be a lot of hotels, a lot of bedrooms, a lot of places that you could clear out to have a nice setup with it. And eventually they're going to probably try to power up the entire city. And that's pretty awesome, you know, to get back to that way. But I don't know what's going to happen with it all. Like, you know, it's probably going to fall apart because nothing really lasts that long in the Walking Dead universe until the end. And we'll have to see there too. But did anybody else think to be like, why does Maggie not reach out to our people? And I doubt it's going to happen this season because the big person that's returning for the show is Beth. And she died in season, what was that, 4 of The Walking Dead? 5? 4 or 5? I forget which season it was. But she's like, huh. So that's not useful for the future. That's a cameo. That's a connection. That's a callback. That's a great thing with Maggie. But going forward, what's the future bring for that? And, you know, I hopefully it makes sense. I thought season 3, episode 1 was a good start. It made us like Maggie. We could definitely start to like Herschel. And now that everyone's playing nice and working together, we'll see where it goes down the road, because Maggie was not likable in the first 2 seasons for a lot of people. And I still feel like Negan is the main person that carries Dead City. And he does a good job. But then we have to have conflict and problems, because this episode, season 3, episode 2, really was annoying because it just was so drawn out for the 40 minutes that was. They caught the Dama pretty much early in the episode, and then they drug it out all the way to the end because they couldn't decide what to do. And I think we all could agree that keeping people around is dangerous like that. Like the Dama, there was nothing. The risk reward of keeping her around was not in favor of reward, but more of risk. Tim says, didn't Maggie in this episode bring the people from the bricks there? I don't know, but I didn't really get that. If that really is what it was, but hopefully was the big thing. But no one cares about the bricks, right? Like, the bricks is another stupid community that Maggie was able to start somehow, some way, magically, because Maggie's running everything wherever she goes. But there's no one from the bricks that has any connections with the Walking Dead universe. There's no one there that's like, oh, it would be really great to see Jerry, Ezekiel, Mercer, Father Gabriel, Aaron, somebody, right? And, it would make sense that Maggie would want people around her that she could trust. And you could have people in there that screen the people, see what they have. What if people are sick that come to the island, Manhattan, New York City, wherever, and get everybody else sick? Or what if they cause more problems, or whatever, They have weapons, they have this. They couldn't even handle the Dama, one person, to make this decision, let alone when it's going to be potentially 100 people that are causing problems. What if so many people go to New York City and rise up and say, thanks for stopping these people, but we're gonna take it from here. And then it becomes a war zone and becomes a battlefield, all because you were like, we need more people. I think you should have built up your people first with your own people before you brought everyone over. And it could have just been handled in a different way. The writing makes sense that people are coming to New York City, but it could have been in a way that was like, well, we'll see. Again, we'll see. We haven't seen the episodes yet. This is only the second episode setting things up. But again, they really just not threw away, but disconnected everything that was done in the first 2 seasons by killing off the Croat and the Dama in the first 2 episodes. So the only thing that's going to live on from that is the Croat, the technology to have power things with the methane gas on there, which is pretty important. And Herschel's toe is gone. And Maggie, Negan, Herschel. They're from the original connections. Because Ginny's gone, Croat's gone, Dama's gone, all the other people we met before. So, people rising up to seize control and power is a thing that's happens all the time, and that's never going to stop from now to eternity. Is that people want control, power to run things, see how they see fit. They want to do things their way because their way is the right way. And that's a matter of discussion, view, debate, viewpoint, perspective, whatever. But in a zombie apocalypse, it's kind of lawless, And so many years have gone by that I find it hard to believe that the Civic Republic would have eyes everywhere. And they have helicopters, and they have boats and whatever, and Humvees and everything they can get around. If they don't show up at some point, I'm going to be disappointed. And in a perfect world, which the Walking Dead universe is not, I would have liked to have seen, and I still would like to see, someone from the past, The Walking Dead, show up in this show again. Like, add more people to it. And hopefully it's some major characters, some major part. Because I would assume that some of these people want to be involved with this show. But I don't know how much it costs. I don't know how much money they have. I don't know their budget. I don't know what it is. And I don't even know when if they're gonna start filming season 4, what's going on with that, because it is August as we speak, and these 8 episodes are done filmed and gonna be airing over the 8 weeks. And then what? And Lauren Cohan said that it's very open-ended the way it ended. So it's open to set up season 4 for whatever they want to do going forward with that. But, I mean, what are we doing here? We're just going to see Maggie and Negan trying to run New York City? Cool. Then what? And maybe it's interesting and it's entertaining to watch. It is something there. But we're just seeing the whole aspect of New York City now, which is fine. But ultimately, we have to see how it goes down for the connections, if there is any, with the Walking Dead universe, and what's going to be the final episodes. Will it just end that Maggie and Negan, or just Maggie, or just Negan, or whatever, survives and runs New York City? I mean, it's crazy. They don't know anything about Rick or Michonne or Judith or RJ or Daryl or Carol or anything with those things that we know as an audience, what everyone's going through. And I think it would be a good way to just use the technology that the Croat came up with for all the other communities. Because it makes sense for that to happen and being the connecting point for this show. And I mean, we're going along with it and we're watching it and we're like, okay, cool, you know. But hopefully they have a plan, and I don't know what Gimple and the powers that be have for that. Or maybe we're just going to watch it and see what happens with there too. Because it's crazy to think that The Walking Dead is like so long ago. I mean, 16 years ago. Coming up on 16 years ago, Halloween 2010. That's crazy that technically the Walking Dead universe is still going. And it will go into next year with the DARYL show and hopefully a 4th. I mean, I'll be fine if it's just one more season of Dead City. Like, all I need is one more season, wrap it up, bring in some people, have some closure, and maybe that's the final episodes of the Walking Dead universe. But I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't know how many people watch it. I don't know how many people care about it. I don't know how much money it brings in, how much it costs, or how much it makes. Because Walking Dead as a whole is just not as popular by any means at this stage, because you don't see, you know, different action figures and cards and mystery figures and all that stuff. You know, when you're doing well, all that stuff is going on strong because they're making all these. Because that's where the money, the real money, is in the shirts and the apparel and the extra stuff. You know, yeah, you make a bunch of money here, but if you're making money off of mystery boxes and T-shirts and action figures and board games and whatever, you know, that's where you make some really good money. You know, and it is what it is. But ultimately, guys, did you guys see the episode? Did you think about it? Did you agree with what I'm saying? Do you think it was kind of annoying? The episode was setting the tone for the remaining 6 episodes. Of course, we're going to have some filler. We're going to have some nonsense. We're going to have some stuff there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, where's it going? Their plan is to set up New York. Cool. Okay. But you know there's going to be problems. They should go around and just clear buildings, clear walkers, clear areas. Yeah. Tim says, watch The Walking Dead with my 5-year-old granddaughter. She's 21 now. We have every action figure still in the box. Nice. Yeah, I don't know the value of those figures anymore. You know, there was a market for them, especially like season 1. And I still have some. I have a bunch of Rick and Michonne and Daryl and Carol figures left. And I remember like being excited to see them at GameStop or Walgreens or wherever I would see the figures. And it was kind of crazy to go to Walgreens of all places to pick up some of the figures. And you know, The Walking Dead is still going on. I wouldn't say going strong, but you know, at some point, someone's going to start The Walking Dead for the first time on Netflix. And that's pretty cool to go there, going through it, to watch the episodes that, you know, if somebody was, you know, born in the early 2000s and say they were born in 2000, they were 10 years old when The Walking Dead came out, and maybe they didn't watch it. Or maybe they were 4 or 5 or 2 years old when The Walking Dead came out. And now, so many years later, they're like, oh, let me check this out. Especially it's on Netflix. It makes sense because that would be a good to see what the data is of people that watch The Walking Dead on Netflix. Because I'm sure that Netflix knows exactly, and they wouldn't have given AMC $500 million to keep The Walking Dead for 5 years if it wasn't worth it. If people weren't watching it anymore and it doesn't make money, they're probably not going to do it. But once something goes away, and I'm sure AMC could sell it to Amazon or whatever, because they have so much money that I'm sure Amazon and Netflix have so much money from the services and whatever else they have that it's pretty crazy that you can do that stuff. Just pay out $500 million for one show or one universe of shows. Tim says, I figure what I've seen that in a 30-year stretch, things become bad. Well, it just depends the rarity of it as well. Like, I don't know the popularity of an action figure from a niche show. You know, like, certain things have a lot of connection with people. And maybe, hopefully it is. Hopefully it is down the road. Yeah, Jeff Wallace says, reboot. Need a reboot. Reboot. All new actors and don't kill Carl. See, I don't like reboots. I wouldn't want, oh, we're starting over and here's new Morgan and here's new Carl and here's new Rick and Lori and Shane and Carol and Daryl and, you know, Merle and whoever. But that's where the stories are at, too. Like, it's crazy how many times the X-Men have been done with comics, cartoons, shows, movies, and just so many things have connected that way or another that now we're going to have the Marvel Cinematic Universe X-Men, and there's been talks of people who were cast as Magneto and Emma Frost and Rogue and whatever, and it's just one of those things where, like, yes, those are the X-Men, those are the characters, and now we're starting over again. I don't know if that would work with The Walking Dead, and I don't know if... I personally think it'd be better just to go down the road away from it. The future of The Walking Dead, not rebooting it, but I don't make it anything, so it doesn't make sense to me. No. At Negan and Maggie edits, question, do you think Negan and Maggie could get together? I mean, they could. Anything could happen. As we know, since Fear the Walking Dead, anything can happen. No one's gone till they're gone. But Negan and Maggie could obviously get together. If they're still alive, on there. Do I want to see it? Heck no. Does anybody want to see that? To me, it would make no sense for Maggie and Negan to get together ever. Because Negan doesn't need Maggie. Maggie needs Negan. And if Maggie ever got with Negan, it would just be a slap in the face of fans of Glenn and Always in There Too. So I think Negan cares for Maggie, not in a sexual way. I mean, maybe, because she is a beautiful woman. But obviously, I think he just wants to protect her too. Like the same thing with Carol and Daryl. Do people still keep asking the fact is, could Carol and Daryl get together? Yes, obviously they could, but I feel them as a family connection, a brother-sister connection that they look after each other and care for each other. And this isn't, Game of Thrones, but Jeff says, I know, but they all just getting too old as much time passed since the promise of white news. Well, no, you just go with like Judith and RJ and, all the kids of The Walking Dead. And the only people that would be surviving is old lady Carol and old man Daryl. But, yeah, I don't know. Well, obviously, in a zombie apocalypse, there's going to be select people around, and people have feelings for this and urges and whatever. But I mean, again, they're going to do whatever they want to do with the writing and the future of it on there too as well. But if Negan and Maggie get together, it's stupid. Even though we haven't had the Maggie new love interest like in the comic. We did have the Negan and Maggie altercation where Maggie was going there to kill Negan, and then she couldn't do it, and Negan lives. And I believe Maggie was with Dante in the comic, and maybe Maggie ends up with somebody, but I don't want it to be Negan. That would seem so forced. That would seem, just too much. And again, it could happen, but I don't want to see that. Yeah, exactly. So Adrian says, I want to see Morgan finds Rick. I'm more worried about like reunions and connections and there too. I'm not worried about the romance of the soap opera that would be Maggie and Negan getting together, even though The Walking Dead is kind of like a soap opera with zombies. But I do think that Maggie, Negan are going to have a difference of how to run New York City because they're the people in charge now, So you think that Negan wants to get with Maggie. You think Negan is in love with Maggie. You think Negan is going to... Well, Negan technically is married. So, even though we're probably never going to see his wife and son again. But, I don't know. I don't need to see Negan with Maggie. That to me just would be dumb. Yeah, we don't need extra drama. We don't need bratty kids. We don't need people complaining all the time. We need people just surviving and problem solving. Like Maggie was pretty unlikable in the first 2 seasons, because all she did was complain about Negan and this with Negan and fight with Negan and complain about this and Herschel this and some bratty kid there, and it was just annoying and back and forth. And now that's done. Maggie and Negan are going to work together to deal with New York City, and Herschel's going to be a big part of that, going forward, and learn medicine through Renata's brother, which I don't even know his name, but he's just going to be Renata's brother. And Dillard's going to be there for comic relief. Negan's going to do the dirty work. Maggie's going to try to play nice and do work and do this and be helpful and rebuild New York City. And it's going to go haywire. And we'll have to see if we see Armstrong again, because he's a likable character. But, New Babylon's going to be a problem. And other new people that come around for these remaining episodes. And there's going to be conflicts and strife and problems and, too many cooks in the kitchen. And I just hope Maggie just doesn't beat around the bush and try to make tough decisions, but doesn't make tough decisions because she can't, because she was running Hilltop and she was doing a good job. And then she left because Lauren Cohan left the Walking Dead universe to go on a different show because of money and this and whatever on there too. And then that show failed. And then she came back to the Walking Dead to just come back to the Hilltop, to come back to this, to leave, to go to the Bricks, to have a problem here, to go after Negan, to find Herschel, to go to New York City, to be stuck in New York City, to now run New York City. And we'll have to see there too. The farmer's daughter has come a long way. That's all I can say about Maggie. So, yeah, I just hope we see Rick again, Michonne. We're obviously going to see Carol and Daryl in the 4th and final season of Daryl Dixon. But also, I would love to see other different characters from the Walking Dead universe. Doesn't have to be everybody. And I said it time and time again, and I'll say it every episode until it actually happens, that New York City, Washington, D.C., New York City, Philadelphia are pretty close to each other in the area of the Northeast United States. So, if you're in the Commonwealth in Virginia, or the Commonwealth is in Ohio, but Alexandria in Virginia, so you have Ohio, Virginia, Philadelphia. So that's crazy to think that the Civic Republic wouldn't have anything to know what's going on with New York City when they hide in the shadows, but they get stuff done, they get information, and that's pretty big technology that the Croat was coming up with. But now the Civic Republic military is destroyed, but I would find it really hard to believe that the Civic Republic military wouldn't have some sort of group that was still out there. So, yes, we know that Major General Beale is gone, but what if we had a group that was in Chicago or Canada or the Caribbean or something, and they come back to find the Civic Republic military and Major General Beale is dismantled and gone and done, but they're like, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to run things now. Or the 2nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th in command, because everyone early on in the big commanders are dead now, right? So I don't know what's going to happen with those things, but I just think it makes the most sense to have that show up. And you could reuse props and reuse things there too, so the budget wouldn't be crazy. You would have the helmets and the gear and the guns and the Civic Republic military symbol, and you could just throw that on a bunch of different things. You would have the fuel caches. You would have things that can be in there as well. You could have a war that we wanted to have with the Civic Republic military that never happened, and there's things that could wrap things up and then end it on a big epic endgame type of note where there's a big huge war in a final season of The Walking Dead or Dead City or whatever that could be, the final episodes of The Walking Dead universe. And I keep saying that until it actually happens, how it actually ends. I just hope it's not an ending that is just annoying, frustrating, or lackluster, Negan had 4 wives when he was running his tribe. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. So I don't think Negan needs to be with Maggie. I think it's forced that they work together. Negan could be anywhere, and he could run part of the city, and Maggie could run the other part, and there'd be 2 parts for sure because New York City is a bunch of boroughs and a bunch of, areas that could be broken up into segments and sectors. And so that could happen as well too. I just don't know what the future holds because we're just not there yet too, guys. So Negan and Meg Edit says, I would like to see father and son to have a relationship with Negan and Herschel. Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody would like to see. And then people were like, yeah, Herschel's going to kill Negan. But I think Negan would protect Herschel, and he has time and time again. So, all right, guys, that's my hour. Man, that went quick. It usually does. So today, August 2nd, 2026, Season 3, Episode 2 is available on AMC Plus, or watch it tonight on AMC. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about Dead City, Season 3, Episode 3, other shows, movies, stuff that's going on around in the world. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, guys, keep working hard at it. You can achieve it. With hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can achieve those goals. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you next week. See ya!